In our digital age, every action leaves an echo, a constant trail of breadcrumbs. Most are mundane, but sometimes a final message becomes the key to a dark mystery. Tonight, we examine 2 cases from 2017, linked by a single haunting signal left by the victims. One digital message created a puzzle that remains unsolved, casting deeper shadows of ambiguity. The other provided a terrifying certainty, a voice from beyond the grave that led directly to a killer. The story of what happened to Alexis Camry Scott doesn't begin on the night she vanished. It starts 3 weeks earlier. In late August of 2017, the 20-year-old mother traveled from her home in Peoria, Illinois, to Las Vegas, Nevada. She went with a male acquaintance, hoping to make money as a dancer. But the trip took a horrifying turn when, according to her family, Alexis was drugged, kidnapped, and trafficked to Sacramento, California. There, she was forced into a sex trafficking ring. In an incredible act of courage, Alexis escaped. She was found naked and disoriented on a Sacramento street by a woman who let her use a phone to call her mother, April Allen. April helped her return home to Peoria, shaken but safe. But the safety she found was fragile, as Alexis lived in constant fear that her traffickers would come looking for her. On the night of Friday, September 22, 2017, Alexis attended a small house party on Richmond Avenue in Peoria. The accounts of that night are fragmented and conflicting. The man who invited her to the party told investigators she left the house multiple times and was last seen in the backyard. What we know for certain comes from her phone. At 5:04 a.m. on September 23rd, Alexis sent her last known communication. It was a social media message sent to a friend, stating she was on her way to an address in nearby Fulton County, the home of a man she had recently started talking to. Just 4 minutes later, at 5:08 a.m., her cell phone fell silent. An unconfirmed witness claimed she left the party on foot sometime after 5:30 a.m. and walked off alone into the darkness. Alexis Camry Scott was never seen again. In the days that followed, her mother April grew frantic. Alexis was a devoted mother to her 2-year-old son, Tevin Jr., and her family says she would never have voluntarily left him. After several days of silence, April filed a missing persons report. Feeling the initial police response was slow and shoddy, the family and community advocates organized their own searches, determined to keep Alexis's name alive. The official investigation eventually focused heavily on the party house on Richmond Avenue. Police executed multiple search warrants there over the years, but the searches yielded no public breakthroughs. The case stalled, caught between the chaos of the party and the ominous background of her recent trauma. With little physical evidence, the investigation is built on theories. The most prominent, supported by her family, is that her disappearance was retaliation by the traffickers she had escaped. This theory gained significant weight, with a chilling reported detail. The owner of the party house allegedly knew the male acquaintance who took Alexis to Las Vegas in the first place. This provides an alarming link, a plausible way her traffickers could have located her to silence a victim who got away. A second theory suggests the trafficking ordeal was a tragic red herring and that the danger was much closer to home. The party was the last place anyone could confirm seeing Alexis alive. The conflicting stories from those who were there could suggest a cover-up. Alexis's mother, April, has even publicly stated her belief that a local music producer named Leland Jones was involved, leading to a televised confrontation on the Steve Wilkos show. Jones has denied any involvement. A third, less common theory considers voluntary disappearance or suicide, brought on by the trauma she endured. However, this is strongly refuted by everyone who knew her. They insist Alexis, a dedicated mother, would never have abandoned her son. Today, the case remains unsolved. Alexis is classified as an endangered missing person. After 7 years, available evidence suggests she is likely no longer alive, but without her body, no one can be charged. Her family, led by the tireless efforts of her mother April and advocate Dusty Moultrie, continues to fight for answers. The entire mystery hinges on that final digital breadcrumb. The 5:04 a.m. message saying she was going to Fulton County is the central enigma. It points away from the party, suggesting she left and met with foul play elsewhere. Advocate Dusty Moultrie has even claimed there is evidence to prove that she showed up at the Fulton County house, though this remains unconfirmed by law enforcement. In fact, police did locate and question the man, who told them Alexis never arrived at his home that morning. He was investigated and subsequently cleared by authorities. This contradiction between her last confirmed location and her stated destination is the puzzle no one can solve. Her final message didn't illuminate a path to the truth. It fractured it, leaving a family in perpetual pain and a case gone cold. While Alexis Scott's final message plunged her case into years of confounding ambiguity, a different kind of final signal, recorded just 7 months earlier in Indiana, would provide the terrifying and undeniable certainty needed to find a killer. On February 13, 2017, best friends Abigail Abby Williams, 13, and Libby German, 14, had the day off from school. Libby's older sister dropped them off for a hike at the Monon High Bridge, a scenic trail near their small town of Delphi, Indiana. At 2:07 p.m., Libby posted a picture of Abby walking on the old, abandoned railroad bridge. It was her last public post. Shortly after, the girls were no longer alone on the isolated bridge. They encountered a man. In an act of incredible composure and foresight, Libby German discreetly took out her phone, opened her camera, and started recording video. Over 43 seconds, she captured a grainy image of the man approaching them, and most importantly, she captured his voice, a low, firm command that would haunt the nation. "Guys, down the hill."
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here. Hi.
When the girls failed to appear at their designated pickup spot later that afternoon, their families knew something was wrong. A search began. The next day, Valentine's Day, brought a devastating discovery. Their bodies were found in a wooded area about half a mile, 0.8 kilometers, from the bridge. They had been murdered. Within days, police released the evidence from Libby's phone, the blurry photograph of the man who would become known as Bridge Guy, and the chilling audio clip of his voice. The case sparked a massive investigation and thousands of tips, becoming a national obsession for an army of online sleuths. But for over 5 years, the killer remained a ghost. The breakthrough came unexpectedly in September 2022. A volunteer clerk organizing old case files discovered a tip sheet from February 2017. The tip was from a local CVS pharmacy technician named Richard Allen, who had voluntarily told police he was on the trail that day. The sheet had been misfiled because the name line read Richard Allen Whiteman, his street name, and the lead fell through the cracks for years. This discovery put Allen directly in the spotlight. In October 2022, police searched his home and found a .40 caliber Sig Sauer pistol. Ballistics analysis delivered a stunning match. An unspent .40 caliber bullet found between the girls' bodies had been cycled through Richard Allen's specific weapon. After 5 years, the voice on the bridge finally had a name. Richard Allen was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. His trial, in late 2024, was stunning. The prosecution presented 3 pieces of evidence that sealed his fate. First, the full 43-second video from Libby's phone, where jurors heard his voice and the girls' anxious voices.
See, this is the path.
Prosecutors also revealed that a reference to a gun was heard in the recording. Second, the unspent bullet that forensically tied him to the scene. And third, a series of more than 60 prison confessions Allen made to his wife, his mother, a psychologist, and the warden, in which he admitted he killed Abby and Libby. The defense argued Allen was innocent and suffering from a severe mental breakdown due to harsh prison conditions, leading to false confessions. They even floated a bizarre theory that the girls were victims of a ritualistic sacrifice by a pagan cult called Odinists, a claim the judge found had no admissible evidence. On November 11, 2024, the jury found Richard Allen guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 130 years in prison. With the killer identified, the mystery of the Delphi murders shifted from who to why. The motive remains the single greatest unanswered question. How could this seemingly unremarkable man, a licensed pharmacy technician with no significant criminal history, who lived just a few miles from the bridge, commit such a monstrous act? He was, as investigators warned in 2019, truly hiding in plain sight. While Allen was convicted as the sole perpetrator, questions about whether he acted completely alone still linger for some who followed the case. Ultimately, the case was solved because of a final, heroic act. Libby German's 43-second recording is one of the most powerful pieces of evidence in modern true crime history. It was a digital breadcrumb that provided absolute certainty, a signal sent from beyond the grave that gave a voice to the victims, identified their killer, and delivered justice to their families. A final digital signal can define an entire investigation. In the case of Alexis Scott, a social media message created a fractured timeline and an enduring, ambiguous mystery. For Abby Williams and Libby German, a secretly recorded video provided a path to undeniable truth and conviction. These cases remind us that in our connected world, the last thing we type or record can become our most important legacy. Thanks for watching. To continue exploring questions like this, subscribe to FactFaction and turn on notifications for more deep dives into modern mysteries. We'll see you on the next one.